Welcome to your go-to podcast for the pool and spa industry. My name is Tyler Rasmussen.
And my name is Greg Villafania. And this is the Pool Chasers Podcast.
Welcome to the Pool Chasers Podcast. This is episode 4. In this episode, we get to interview Mark Hernandez from SCP. Mark has turned into one of our good friends in the industry because he's been such a huge asset for us here at Brothers Pool Service. We met Mark because Greg went into SCP one day and asked if there was anyone they knew that was in the field that could help us expand our business. They said they may know someone and gave Mark our number, and our relationship is kind of built from there. You know, Mark helped us expand our business by helping us pull lights, even helped us hang our first automation panel. He's been a big asset to us, and we just wanted to interview him and, you know, share with you guys his knowledge, because Mark is one of the most knowledgeable guys in the industry we know, and if he doesn't know the answer to something, he'll tell you that, and, he probably knows somebody that does know that answer, so he's always willing to help whenever he can, and we really appreciate that. We talk about a lot of cool things in the episodes, such as skateboarding pools. We talk about a little bit about SCP's history, the future of the industry, and, there's some really great advice on how to sell yourself and how to sell your business to your customer. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy this episode. And as always, take what you can, use what you want from the episode. And we hope you all enjoy. We'll get right into it. The word from our sponsor.
What's going on, everybody? This episode is brought to you by Jobber. Jobber is by far our favorite tool for collecting deposits, payments, scheduling customer jobs, and assigning tasks to a specific person on our team. If you're looking for a better way to stay organized, this is it. We love how simple it is to take a call, create a customer profile, and schedule a date for a person on our team to do an initial bid on service or repairs. Also, building a quote could not be easier. You can import line items and the cost so that you can build a quote fast in the field. Our team also loves that all photos, videos, and notes are attached to a specific customer. We can simply go to the customer's profile and know right away what is going on. If you are struggling to stay organized, this will help immediately. We start every morning off by going through our assignments and what needs to be done that day. I don't even know how we did things before Jobber. If you have any questions, their customer service team is out of this world. We have never had a bad or long waiting experience with the Jobber team. Jobber is so cool that they are hooking up all of our listeners with a free 14-day trial. Just visit getjobber.com/poolchasers. That's getjobber.com/poolchasers. Try it out. We promise you won't be disappointed. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for joining us today. You want to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Absolutely. My name is Mark Hernandez, and I work for SCP, South Central Pools, and Superior Pool Products, and MPT.
Thank you so much. So I want to get to the bottom of this. How old are you really? Because you look like you're younger than us.
42.
42?
42?
42, yes.
That's crazy, man.
Blue 42.
Did you definitely don't
March
look like
42.
you're 42
March 42. Set.
Right?
Oh, my gosh. You have kids?
Yes, I do.
How many?
3.
3?
Yep.
Do you mind telling us how old they are?
Sure. 23, 19, and 15.
Dude, that is crazy, dude. Do any of them look older than you?
No. Actually, they all look really
super
really
young?
Yeah.
Is it difficult for them?
Actually, my oldest son looks a little bit younger than my middle-aged son, believe it or not. So.
Do you get carded a lot if you buy a beer or something?
No, not usually. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I will, but most of the time, because I have a little beard going, they're like, "Oh, this guy's at least got to be over 21." So.
Yeah,
at least 21.
If I shaved
maybe 22.
I probably could, maybe, so.
Oh, yeah. If you shaved it, you would definitely get carded.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. I never get carded. I feel like crap. Take some more multivitamins or something.
Right.
You just get free drinks. They're just trying to get with you.
Yeah. So we got to say, you're our rep for SCP. We met a while back ago, which was just the craziest coincidence. We talked about it in some of our previous episodes. It was crazy. We were in SCP one day and we were just asking around if they knew of anybody that could help train us on doing, more repairs. Because at that time we were just doing, pool service and, we're swapping out motors and doing filter cleans. We weren't really doing anything else, but we wanted to get into, doing some lights and, installing just more equipment for our customers.
Some automation and heaters and different things like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I know we were talking with one of the guys from behind the counter at SCP, and you said, I might know somebody. Just write down your information, and if you're lucky, someone will call you back. And sure enough, you give us a call maybe within a couple of days or something.
Yeah.
You remember how that went down?
Actually, he reached out to me. Let me back up a little bit. I actually do outside sales for SCP and Superior Pool Products, MPT. So he actually called me and said, hey, I may have a lead for you. It looks like we got some guys that are coming in here looking to do some things. They're hungry, they're thirsty, they want to grow their business, and they're interested in, learning some things that they currently don't know. And I think he had mentioned at that time, actually, that you guys may have been shopping with the competitor. So I was like, ooh, baby, all right, give me the number. So I'll give him a call. Yeah.
We were at SC or PWP at the time.
Yeah.
Hey, man, there's a lot of paperwork you got to fill out to shop at SCP.
Yeah.
It takes a minute.
It looks a little bit longer than what it is, but it's actually just like a page and a half if you're just doing a cash account. But.
Screw you, Mark. I'm just kidding.
I had to defend that.
Yeah, well, your competitor, all they need is a business card.
No comment.
Impatience.
Yeah, every time I go in there, their computers are down, which is not very often. Don't worry.
No, but I think after that, I had reached out to you guys, and we had met, and we set up a lunch appointment. And you guys told me what you guys were looking to do, and when you guys got your company started. And I said, let's see if we can't work together. And you told me some of your concerns and where the direction that you wanted to go with the company. And I kind of told you what I felt that you may want to take serious. And at that time, I think you guys remember, I was like, man, if you guys want to go anywhere in this, man, learn heaters really well, learn automation really well, because that will definitely help you out. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people that run from that. Those two I call them appliances, but those two things, they feel uncomfortable. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't really know where to get any training. So they just kind of say, and don't ask, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and it's much easier to just kind of give that lead to another company that's more comfortable doing those types of repairs. And we were handing off so much stuff at that time that we didn't want to do that anymore because we knew it was worth money.
Absolutely.
We're just throwing money away. But it was really difficult to, find somebody to help us, train us in those things. So it was really cool that, you could take the time to help us out.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of a rare position actually that we have in Phoenix, in the greater Phoenix area. My position, because a lot of the correct title that we have actually for my position is a business development representative. I kind of just shorten it and call it outside sales reps, but that's just a fancy way of saying it. But I actually have a little bit of a different role. I'm more of attached to the service end of it. So we have sales reps, or business development reps, I should say, that handle the retail stores, and they handle the builders and the remodels and so on and so forth. The plasters, the tile installers, you name it. If there's a sector, we probably have a representative that's a specialist in that area. But I specialize in the service industry. So they tried something new with me in this market and said, hey, what we want to do is we're going to get you out there. We want to get you in front with this pool service guys, but not just at a meeting, in some restaurant, poolside, and help them and show them different things and show them how to sell a little bit, show them how to recommend different things that could help their business and help more or less help their customer, get their pool up to where it needed to be, if not better. It was really, really interesting how we kind of put this together in Phoenix, and it was just to cross your fingers and see if it works. And it did work actually with me. I have a little bit of more experience. We did have another guy doing it at one time, but I think it's unfortunate that it just didn't work out for him. But I'm still going. I'm still strong doing the things, and I'll help anybody. I mean, we all have territories as a business development representative, but I kind of I'm all over the place. If somebody needs my help, I'll definitely help them. So I like it. I love it. It's fun, and it's very rewarding to see the customers that I help start to actually get more knowledgeable about certain products and certain things, and and they get thrilled, they get happy, they get really excited, and they're all of them always tell me, is like, man, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know how to do this. And I was like, man, no problem, man, anytime. And if there's something else, you just let me know. So
that must be a really cool feeling. And I think that was what drew us to you so much, is that you actually wanted to meet us at a job site. I mean, you just told us, you said, hey, you know, if you want to learn to do lights, that's the first thing you want to do. Get something lined up and I'll come out there. We'll make sure we have the right light. Obviously get it from SCP. We'll meet at the job site and then we'll just, we'll get this going. So that was the first job that we did. We met you there. It was me, Tyler, and then our other guy at the time, Jeremiah. And you met us out there and we got it, you know, we pulled the old light, we got it all wired up and you were showing us how to do everything. Yep. And man, that's the best kind of training you can really get, you know. It was like it's like a little workshop, but we're getting paid for it. You know what I mean? I know,
right? Everybody's getting paid for it. No, it actually worked out really good. I mean, it's something I like to do, and you know, no other company actually, you know, straddles up and does that, you know, besides the company that I work for. I think that they took a risk, they seen an opportunity, and they wanted to take a chance on me and take a chance on the position and see if it will work. And it did. It worked out really well, and it's been working out really well. And I couldn't think of doing anything else, to be honest with you, because, I mean, it's not that I don't, you know, like, you know, selling to the builders and meeting them or the remodelers or the retail stores, because I still do that occasionally. But the service guys is kind of where I've walked in their shoes. I've been in their place, and I know exactly what they're going through. You know, I didn't mention this earlier, but I did own my own service company for a while. And, you know, with all the background in doing that, you know, I'm able to just relate 100%. I mean, from the heat to the dogs almost biting you. I can relate, you know.
Exactly.
So. I think a lot of the other people are... Your position is unique because you're just so skilled and your knowledge is there, and that definitely scares a lot of people. I mean, there's a combination of the two for sure, and that makes it much more difficult. And I think other competitors or whatever probably don't want to put somebody in a position like that will fail. And your knowledge base is so wide and vast that it doesn't really happen, you know. And even if you don't know something, you're always willing to help and find out what it is. You know, there's not very many of those things.
There's quite a few of them. I mean, I don't know everything, and I don't claim to know everything, but I tell you what, I know somebody who does. And I got a vast amount of resources of different individuals in the internet. I'm in the industry that I can go, you know, and call or text or email and just say, hey, I'm in a little bit of a situation. What do you think on this? And I got those people. I've built relationships over the years, and so when I don't know, I like not knowing, actually, because I like to go do the research and then I'll know, and then I just put it in the old mind and save it.
Yeah, I mean, we learn new things every day, too. I mean, it's cool when you still learn. This industry is crazy. There's so much changing, and with new stuff coming out all the time, it makes it, you know, playing field you can learn on, which is cool.
Absolutely.
Never want to stop learning. You know what I mean? What fun is that? You know what I mean?
You don't. You can't.
Yeah. You can't.
You'll never know enough.
Especially in the pool industry. I feel like that is close to impossible to know every single thing.
No. Nobody does, and I don't think nobody ever will. But there are guys that know a lot of different things, but you know, you get them into something simple like, hey, how do you hook up a Screen Logic from Pentair? And they could tell you all this hydraulic stuff on how to size up a water park pumps and this and what type of plumbing to use and the runs and all this. But when you want them to hook up a Screen Logic, they're like, I don't know how to do that. You know, I run into that sometimes because some of these guys are such on a larger scale than residential when they're doing the water parks, they're doing any big water features, that some of the simplest things stump them. So, but you know, in all fairness, that's okay because they're not in that sector. They're in different sectors. You know,
I mean, you got special skills and skill sets, and people do different things. So, we don't know how to do waterfalls or water slides.
Right.
So,
and you can always learn. It's literally all math, and it all comes down to just finding where to find the answer to.
I can do a Screen Logic though.
Yeah, I know you do. Very well too.
So, what was your first impression of us? Because, I mean, we had that meeting, right? And we were sort of a smaller company still then. So,
honestly, I was just bouncing with energy off you guys because you guys had said it exactly, responded to the way I like companies to respond. You're like, hey, we're willing to do this. We're willing to do that. Just show us and we'll do it. And for me, that response and that motivation, that energy that you guys glowed back was phenomenal. I mean, that's what better response to have that? Yeah, teach me. I'm yours. I'll do what you need me to do, and I'll go here. I'll go there. and we just want to learn it and be better. And for me, I'm just like, awesome, let's do it. Because I do sometimes meet with some customers, and I ask them, hey, how can we help you grow your business, and how can we help you, do some things that you're not currently doing. And I'm fine. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I'm stuck in, I'm cool and I'm content, and I have enough accounts, and I don't want to work on heaters. I don't want to work on automation. I don't want to do pebble patch repair. I don't care. I'm good. But you guys were a whole different type of individuals, because you guys were like, show. And so I love that. For me, it's phenomenal.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really cool. And I think, after we did that light repair, while we were doing that, we got to talk about some of our interests. And I think we kind of grew into this sort of, friendship as well.
Sure.
I know we were talking about underground hip hop, and you shared that you used to DJ and all this stuff. And, we'll get into your history and how you got started in the pool industry, but
Sure.
really want to share just how awesome of a friend you've been over the years. Because how many people can say that they go skateboarding with their rep? You know what I mean? I think that was like the coolest thing. We had talked about, skateboarding quite a bit. And, you told me, you're like, no, I skate actively, and I wasn't really skating that much.
Yeah.
But we met up at the skate park by my house one day. And, dude, I just watched you rip. And I was like, dude, this dude is for real. Dropping in, no problem. Just carving the bowl like nobody's business. Like I was super stoked. And you brought that awesome board. It was kind of a unique shape.
Yep.
Get a lot of comments on that board. Anybody sees that, but like, where'd you get that? I'm like, dude, I don't even know where he got this from. I don't even think they make them anymore. So that was a lot of fun. And I, was super stoked when you actually got me my own board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same exact one, same deck, truck, wheels, all that good stuff. And I was always super appreciative of that. And it's really nice because, there's a lot of people in this industry that aren't as maybe, I don't know how to say this, like hip or young. Mm-hmm. So it was so cool to kind of talk about music and lifestyle and skateboarding and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just kept things like lively and interesting. And I think we were always kind of drawn to you because of that as well.
Yeah.
So, we thank you for just being a good friend as well.
Oh, I know. I appreciate it. I think the chemistry definitely kicked off because just, our age, for sure, we're kind of closer. We could talk about a lot of things that used to happen, with skateboarding and some of the old people that I talk about from, past skateboarding professionals and stuff like that. So it's just, you get to talk about something that is fun that you used to do, I used to do, and there's a relationship there, you know what I mean, with that. And it's fun. It is. It's when you have something in common with somebody outside the pool industry, whatever it is, it could be golf, skateboarding, snowboarding, water skiing, whatever, or quadding. I just said all those things because I do all those things.
That was pretty specific, Mark.
But, it's fun just because, we're always talking about pools. We're always talking about situations and problems and this and something. How can I, solve this with a swimming pool? And it's fun just to kind of drop that at the door sometimes and just talk like, regular friends, about things that we enjoy. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was definitely cool. Made things much easier. You know what I mean? So it wasn't so just business all the time. Cause we have, we meet up for lunch quite a bit and we could just talk about, the industry and, talk about all those other things as well. So definitely keeps things fun and interesting.
Absolutely.
How many pools have you skated?
Backyard pools?
Yeah.
In my time, I probably skated I don't know, not as many as some of these guys, but maybe like 25 or so different ones.
Oh, yeah?
And oh, yeah.
Nice.
And you can't skate every one. It's got to have, a little bit of transition to it.
Are you still shredding?
I still, yeah.
Still? Every week, every day?
I go every weekend.
Every weekend?
Yeah, not so much to the backyard pool thing anymore because, that's illegal.
Calm down, Alva.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I know. But, it's funny, I'm out there skating pools and I'm in the pool industry and it's pretty interesting how that all works. But we'll find an occasional one and we try and ask for permission because, we're too old to get a ticket for trespassing.
Yeah.
But, sometimes the owners will let you and they'll say, oh, it's not a problem. And, we'll clean it out a little bit and we'll start skating that pool. And
what's the best? Is it like the deep diver pools that are rounded or what?
Yeah, actually, I think the best pools to skate are probably the Anthony pools, the old Anthony pools with the with a safety grab edge coping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so when you come up to the top, you can grind that and catch air and do a bunch of things. And
Usually cement like the main drain. Because I always found that being a problem if that wasn't flush down there, running into that thing. Because I've eaten crap pretty good running into that ditch.
You know, the main drains when you're skating a pool and with a main drain, we used to either have somebody make us a metal plate cover, and then we would just tape it down.
Oh, that's cool.
Or we would, glue the old plastic one together and just duct tape and cardboard and something just to hold it. So that way when you did run over it, you wouldn't fall flat on your face.
Didn't even think of that. That's how much of a dumb skater I was. I'm like, I'm just going to eat crap, and that's that.
Yeah.
So it's like missing the main drain. It was just like the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so crazy. So we were at Sidewalk Surfer, and we were getting a pair of shoes for one of our guys' birthday, some skate shoes, because he skates quite a bit. And I was talking to the, he's like the manager or something. He's been there for like 20 years since he got out of high school.
Is that Dave?
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah. I talked to him about the podcast as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he was stoked on it. But he was sharing a story with us that one of his buddies, and he comes in there regularly, lives in South Scottsdale. They drain the pool every fall, and then they skate all the way up until like the spring or summer, and they fill it back up and they use it as a swimming pool. But they do this every single year.
Yeah, did you say it was in Scottsdale?
I'm pretty sure it's in Scottsdale.
The guy that I know that actually has a pool just like that, his name is Mike Hathcote. He actually has it in Gilbert, Arizona. And
that could be him.
Yeah, his is a drain pool. It's actually a live pool. They actually redid the pool.
Yeah, I think that's him. They made it special just for skating.
It was actually original pool, and then they actually remodeled it totally, kind of, started from fresh. And I think it even cost them more money than just getting one built, but from what I've heard. But yeah, they made the transitions right. They laid all new coping, porcelain coping, I think it is. That's what's special skate grind coping. And he has people over there skating it actually. So it's actually pretty cool. But the surface is hydrozo that he used for that. So it's not plaster, it's not mini pebble, it's not micro pebble. It's not just, really fine, trout concrete. It's actually hydrozo. So that he's used. Because I asked.
Is it a little more forgiving?
No.
Nope, still sucks.
Concrete's concrete. But
Still sucks if you eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in Gilbert. And actually, just this past Friday night, I think, because they had a skater con in Arizona here and was at PV skate park. And there were some videos online that I seen that in his pool that he had built for skating. Hosoi was there and Caballero was there.
What?
Yeah. I actually got a picture on my phone of me and Hosoi.
Dude, why aren't you texting me, Mark?
I didn't even, man,
gosh.
it was one of those things where we kind of just, I didn't actually go to that night that they skated, but we went to the SkaterCon, which was on Saturday at PV Skate Park the next day. And so Hosoi, Caballero, and some other people were there.
Dude, Cab's so cool.
Yeah,
we ran into Cab and Lance Mountain at Born Free a couple years ago.
Oh, did you?
And they were just like the two coolest dudes. And Adrian Lopez, I mean, he's a little bit younger, but yeah, those old school cats, man, they kill it. You know who I really want to run into?
Who's that?
Is Rodney Mullen.
Oh, right.
That is, if you watched any documentaries, that is one of the most interesting dudes.
He's an interesting guy for sure. Very smart individual.
Oh, very smart.
Yeah.
That dude is passionate.
Oh, yeah.
Man, like he's about to, you talk about skateboarding, man, he's about to cry.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just really into it.
He is very much so.
That's pretty awesome. So that surface, then the wheels don't mark it up or anything?
It does. You're still going to get your black little marks and stuff like that and little streaky marks, but as long as you'll have the marks from your pads and stuff when you slide down when you fall. But I think he just comes back there and uses like a dry eraser, not dry eraser. I'm sorry, the magic eraser that it just cleans those marks off and then before he fills it.
Oh, like the magic eraser, like Mr. Clean.
Yeah, the Mr. Clean, the magic eraser, and
nice.
cleans those marks off. And
dude,
stuff.
that's the same stuff we use on the walls at Swimming Pool Warehouse when we clean up the walls when we talked about with Ed.
Oh yeah,
those little magic erasers.
They're the best thing.
Damn,
man.
They work that good, huh?
They work phenomenal.
That's
I
awesome.
Get some because I got kids. Touch everything.
Oh yeah, they're good for the walls for kids for sure.
Awesome.
But that's an awesome way to look at pools differently a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
cool.
I mean, there are some people doing that too. There are some people that are building a swimming pool to skate. because skateboarding has gotten back in. We didn't really kind of go into that, but it is getting back in. And there are people around town that are starting to consider that. I know a lot of people in California are doing, not a lot of people, I shouldn't say that, but there are some people starting to say, hey, I want a skate swim pool. And they're telling builders that. And, they drain it, like you said, in the winter, and they'll do their skating. And then when the summertime comes, they'll fill it up.
Yeah, Do you find that a lot of people that you meet in the pool industry have a skateboarding background?
No, I do not.
Really? That's funny because we were just talking about that, and I was like, man, I don't know if it's because we're running into some younger guys, but I feel like there's quite a few people that I've run into that kind of have a background of skating when they were younger.
Yeah,
and,
there's a few guys that I know that I actually skate with at the local skate parks on the weekends that work for a couple of different pool companies. But not a lot of customers that I meet. They're more or less like they're the techs, you know what I mean, or something like that. They're not actually the business owners. But there's a couple that I met that are business owners that have a little bit of a background.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. So kind of just tell us maybe how you ended up in the pool industry. Start from the beginning. We want to know your whole Mark Hernandez story.
I'm so excited because I actually don't know.
No, actually, well, being that I had kids really young when we talked about previously, that dang 90s R&B music, man, it gets you every time.
Dude, that's awesome.
But, you got some Brian McKnight.
Yeah.
Slow jam.
One
Boys to
like
Men.
a dream come
Boys
true.
to Men.
It was all the Boys to Men, the Silk, the Shy, all that stuff. But
see if Brian McKnight's too old for him.
Yeah, Brian McKnight's a little.
It's messed up, Ty.
No, it's not too old. It's just that wasn't what I was listening to when I was doing.
My parents were listening to that.
When I was creating, that's when I was listening.
Gotcha.
But no, I started actually working. What was it, 93, 94? I got a job at a retail pool store, and I was working at a video store at that time. And my mom, she had got remarried, and her husband said, "Hey, this retail store had a hiring sign in the window. I don't know if you wanted to go check it out, but you never know what the pay is and what your schedule's like." Because I was working at a video store at that time, and I was minimum wage, and I was riding my bike approximately, I think it was about 9 or 10 miles, and it was a BMX bike to and from work. So this was a little bit closer. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. So I went and checked it out. I ended up getting the job, and I ended up working for that company for approximately, I think, about 9 years. I worked myself up to assistant manager, worked myself up to manager. I managed a couple stores, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot, about kind of how to just talk to customers, and how to present product, and how to sell. I really did, and I think that that was a huge step in the direction of just becoming adult. I think they have a lot to do with kind of part of the core of the personality of the way I do my job today is just some of the background from that retail company that I worked for. So, and then after I did that, I worked for them for quite some time, and then when I left, I started my own business, which was service and repair. And I did that. I did service and repair, and I started. I think I had like 5 pools, and slowly but surely, I just kept hustling and saying, hey, you need pool service? You got a friend, coworker, family member? Let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it.
So what made you go from the retail into that? What made you see that vision?
I think by that time I had already gained a lot of knowledge, and I think it was confidence that I could do it. I think I had a lot of confidence that I could, because just solving a lot of problems and knowing how to do it. Well, I had a lot of confidence, but when I went out into the field, I was like, oh, good, I have a lot of confidence. And when I started doing it, I was like, oh, wait, I don't have that much confidence anymore because because I was telling everybody how to do it that came in to the retail store. Hey, you fix it this way, you do this, you glue this joint, you do that. I had really never physically done it myself, maybe just 1 or 2 times. But when it was a way to make your living, it was a lot different. So I was doing it all the time. So eventually I picked up on it, like anything else. And then after I did that, I was doing pool service and repair, and then I started selling above ground pools and above ground spas. And I installed above ground pools, and I delivered above ground spas, and that was very lucrative. I do got to say, because not a lot of people were, especially with above ground pools and in Phoenix area, they didn't really buy them. But
I don't think I've ever seen one here.
yeah, but the way the brand that I had sold at that time and the way that I was kind of presenting it to the market was a little bit of a different approach, than I think what most people did. And I had set up a booth, actually, believe it or not, at the Goodyear swap meet. And I had actually a physical pool set up there. And then I had like 4 or 5 spas. And it was a weekend thing. So everybody would come weekend. You'd leave your stuff there. And I sold a lot from there. And I just, one of my main slogans was, don't buy an in-ground until you see my above ground.
Dang.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I would, let people see it and explain the warranty, how good it was. And then, I would sell them out of there. And slowly but surely, I mean, it kind of took off. Now, I knew at that time that it was just a matter of time before the sales declined, because at that time, everybody was buying it. This was in like 2007, I think 2006, 7, 5, around there. Everybody was doing the second and third mortgages like they were going out of style.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
So everybody had like this just wad of cash with them because they had just, either refied or took out a second. And they were just like, done, let's do it. And then, when my marketing that I did for that, I tried, whenever I used to try and sell something, I used to just figure out a reason to not make them say no, whatever that reason was. And one of the main reasons with selling above ground pools at that time was that I could figure out why people would say no is because they didn't want to install it. So then I started offering free install with the purchase, and it really jumped off and went from there. So it was good. I mean, it had a shelf life, but it was good.
Yeah.
It did.
Was
Did
there
you
much
install them yourself?
Yeah, I actually had a couple guys working for me. We installed it ourselves, yeah.
Was there much competition back then?
No, not really. I mean, the type of pool that I was selling at that time was Tough Pools, which is a soft-sided above-ground pool. And then you have, your other
Is that the one that does Tough Spas too?
Yes.
The same brand?
Yeah, but they don't do Tough Pools anymore.
Oh, okay.
That
pretty
specific
legit.
company doesn't. Mainly it was it was a lot easier to put in than a steel wall. So it was quick and easy. I could get one put up. I put 3 up in one day. One time installed 3. So, and that day almost killed me because it was worked until like 10 at night. But I did do that. So, but it was cool. And then, I sold the spas. At that time, I sold Tough Spas too as well, which was a great tub, very durable. And it was a real simple tub, perfect for a consumer that already had the Cadillac spa and just wanted to get something new.
That thing looks
simple.
like military issued.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's hardcore. I like them.
It is.
We always talk about them when we see them at
Yeah.
the shows and stuff. They're really industrial looking.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
they stand out at the shows too because they
heck
don't look
yeah.
like a Cadillac spa. They
Yeah.
just look like something cool you can put in your backyard. That kind of
The weather could just beat the
Yeah.
snot out of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then now they have the self-close, not the self-closing cover, but the cover that's part of the spa,
Yeah.
the hardtop cover.
Yep.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Dave Midkiff is the owner of Tough Spas, which is actually a friend of mine, and he's just a brainiac, man. That guy's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It's a really cool
really
idea.
good guy too. Really good guy.
Let's transition to you're just kind of doing the service and repair here in Phoenix. You're doing the above ground spas, all that kind of stuff. Did you kind of phase all that stuff out, or?
Yeah, pretty much that's what I did. I just it got hot. It got really hot outside. You guys know how it is. No. Not really. and then
Not in
plus,
Arizona.
I was working 7 days a week for almost like 6 or 7 years straight.
Yikes.
And so I had started to get really disconnected with my family, and especially my kids at that time. And I didn't know. I almost didn't know what grade my daughter was in, believe it or not. But I didn't know any of her teachers' names. I didn't know what her next test was. I didn't know. My son had to go get a procedure done. For his teeth. I didn't know any of this stuff.
Right.
They would tell me, my girlfriend at the time, or my wife at the time, would tell me, and it would just zone in one ear and out the other. And finally, I just kind of got enough's enough, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. So I sold I had a little route. I sold that, and I kind of just dissolved the business slowly but surely. And then I went to I applied at SCP in Superior for an outside sales position. And kind of the rest is history to right now. So.
Wow, that's very cool. Did you like what you were doing when you were doing the service and repair and the above ground spas and stuff? I mean, did you genuinely? I mean, I have to think you were doing it 7 days a week. You had to have like doing it somewhat.
I like the money that went with. No, I did like it. I enjoyed helping people in helping families, and creating that backyard environment. I'm a big type of person that likes to keep families together and keep them in the backyard and, get off your cell phones, get off your iPads. And, there's a big old backyard centerpiece right here. Go use it, whatever it was, a spa or a above ground pool or in-ground pool. And I like to be part of that, to take the stress off a mother and father, because it's not like they don't have enough things going on with their kids. So that way, keep a clean pool and keep it working, and they didn't have to worry about that. So all they had to do was go out and swim and spend time with their kids and their family. So
that's cool that you genuinely understood that you're selling people an experience, because I think a lot of people forget that.
Yeah.
Our responsibility is to make sure that everything's working properly, it looks good, it's safe. Because we're having all these, birthday parties, these swim parties, all these different things. And we're
Absolutely.
we've, made so many memories, and it's all around a swimming pool. And we're in charge of that. We're in charge of keeping it clean, automating it, heating it, whatever it is that you do, building the pool, whatever it is that you do, you're pretty much responsible for that. I mean, I don't know how many times, someone's like, hey, we need to get this dialed in. I got a party tomorrow. You know what I mean? I mean, they're a new customer that calls in. They're like, can you come out here right now? It's like, dude, it's Friday at, 6 o'clock.
Right.
Unfortunately, I mean, we can get someone to help you out. But
I said, man, your pool's green. It ain't.
It just needs a quick
blue by tomorrow.
Yeah,
Bro.
can someone come out here and vacuum this up?
Yeah.
Throw a couple tabs in there and be like, dude, it's a swamp.
Yeah, you guys waited way too long.
Yeah.
You can't turn that in one night.
Yeah. I think I'm at the wrong house. Yeah.
I've gotten those calls a few times.
Yeah.
Crazy people.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So you went from having your customers being more like residential, that have the own pools, to now your customers are guys like this that own service and repair businesses. They're builders. They do resurface, tile cleaners, all the different manufacturers you probably deal with.
Yep.
So now things have changed quite a bit. How are you liking where you're at now?
Oh man, I love it. Honestly, I wouldn't do anything else. I love helping people, and if I have the insight to help somebody, whether it's whatever, how to cook, cheese crisp, I don't know. You know what I mean? From helping with a heater or an automation, I want to help them and show them. I get a real kick out of it. I get a real high out of it for me.
Yeah. Is it difficult when people aren't catching on?
No, it's not, because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed myself either. I know by repetition, and I that's how I learn, and I'm very hands-on. You can explain something to me, and I'm like, yeah, unless I touch it, feel it, look at it, and then you explain it to me, then I get it. But no, it sometimes you're a little discouraged, because I don't think sometimes certain pool service companies take it very serious. They just look like, I'll just call this person and get the advice and do it when the time comes, instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to study this, I'm going to learn it, and it's going to come off the tip of my tongue whenever I need it. And I think that they lean on, a lot of the manufacturer reps and technical support when they do need it, but they don't really want to learn it. And I get a little discouraged in that, because for me, I'm very prideful in what I know, and I want to go learn. I did study. I took the classes. I spent the time, and I opened up books, and I forced myself to know this stuff, so I didn't have to ask the questions and reach out for the resources. And I think we've made it very easy not that I mind that, but I think we've made it very easy to just not really take learning super, super serious. I'm not saying all companies, but there are some that I'll just call this person and he'll help me out instead of.
I think, not to make excuses, but it's just, man, it's really hard. I know everybody has a different situation, but, we grew a little faster than we had anticipated.
Right.
So we're trying to take care of emails, calls, the guys, all these different things on top of still learning new things, which that's just what you have to do. And we're still trying to balance, our normal family life as well. So
Absolutely.
it's, just kind of all over the place. But, I'm going to throw you kind of a curveball here.
All right.
For, all the listeners, listening to this right now. What would you suggest? I mean, because, you're not available to everybody, and they're not available in every state. If somebody wants to learn to do automation or install heaters, what's your recommendation for something like that? Would you just say, read the manuals? What you know what I mean?
My recommendation, if you want to learn how to become a good heater repair tech, a couple things, find somebody that's good and ask them permission if you can train with them. If they're just that could be a competitor, but usually a sole proprietor guy that's by himself that is just an old school guy that's been working on heaters for 40 years, and call them up, be like, hey man, I heard you were a good repair tech. They say that at the local distribution. Would you be willing to train me? I'm just trying to get better. I don't know. And you never know. And you could pay him for his services and his time. And that I would try and go something to that route first. But also one of the ways that we did it was reach out to the manufacturer's reps and the technical support guys and say, hey man, I took your class at this and you're talking way over my head. Can we tone it down some? Can I train with you privately? Can I come into your training center if you have one, or can we meet at a job site and can you get me trained on how to do this? And I think a lot of the manufacturer reps in Arizona would love to help, for that reason. They like training, they like helping.
Yeah, I think, that's one of the biggest things we didn't even know before we even met you, to be honest. I don't think the companies pitch it very well, is that they have these reps. Each company has these reps that will go into the field and help you.
Right.
They'll reach out, help you learn. They all have their own training facilities, or they'll come train you at your compound or things like that. But nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you that in the beginning. Nobody wants to share that information, which is crazy because that just makes everybody better. If you can learn from the people who make the product, then you should be able to do that. And that's crazy. People don't even mention that to you in the beginning. We had no idea that even the reps did. We didn't even know what reps were for like a year.
Right.
So,
do you think the manufacturers don't kind of market that or talk about that much because they don't have the manpower? They don't have enough people out there. I mean, because there's just one of you, and we have Jason from Pantera, and we have Nick from Zodiac, and things like that. Is it because there's not enough people around to kind of visit all these different job sites, and they don't? Because if everybody had their phone numbers, there's only so much that they can do, and somehow they would have to prioritize, who gets taken care of first, and if they do get to you, you better have a notepad and a pen.
I think you're spot on with that. I think that's it, because we just went to the Pantera training not too long ago here in Phoenix, and if they were trying to push that, they would have stood up. And if anybody needs help out in the field, you call this number and we'll come out and help you. No, they don't promote that, and you're exactly right, because there would just be too many calls and too many things going on.
You almost got for you to speak up, and
you have to speak up and say something. Exactly, as a company, an owner of the company, or a lead tech or something like that. If you want to learn something, you're gonna have to go call the guys and say, "Dude, I need training on your product."
I guess that does separate, the companies like us that are, progressive with that from the ones that don't really want to learn and want to grow.
Right.
That's so if you are listening out there and you're like a younger company and you want to grow and you want to do those things, definitely should reach out to whatever manufacturers you want to start learning those things, because they're not going to just come to you because I think, like you said, that is one version of it. And I just think they don't have the manpower to do it, or they don't have somebody like you or somebody like Jason and Nick that are knowledgeable enough to teach it. So they have to be selective somewhat with what they take on. And, if you're hungry, like we were, like if you reach out, then, they're always willing to help those type of people.
Absolutely. I mean, reach out and keep reaching out, and just till you get what you want, because you will get what you want. And, let me back up a little bit earlier what I said about, calling, a service tech that that's good in heaters. I mean, probably not a company, but just like I said, a single guy that's doing repairs. I mean, he might say no, and he might say, get lost, buddy. You're going to be my competitor. Well, that's fine. You move on to the next guy. If he says no, he says no. But at least you try, because I guarantee you're going to run into somebody that's going to say, yeah, man, I'll help you. I'm going to charge you a little bit, but I'll help you.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, it would be worth it. And you're going to run into a lot of no's, but you'll get your yes. You will, because guys want to help people.
And I think, the pool industry sometimes can be like a giant college fraternity. And people are sometimes really like shy or embarrassed to ask questions because they're like, I should probably know this. Because I know in the beginning, I still feel this way sometimes because I don't go to SCP that much. Other people do. I don't really do that much.
I'm too good for SCP now. No, guys go. No, I'm just totally kidding.
When everybody's sick, I have to go in. But
aren't you the IT guy, Greg?
Yeah, dude, that's what they call me over there. They're like, it's the IT guy. I'm like, whatever, man.
That's hilarious.
But I think people, it's really difficult for some people to be in that situation where they're like, man, I really want to ask. It's just like maybe the Q&As where you're just like praying to God that somebody asks a question that's on your mind, because you're like, I don't want to be the idiot that asked like, something about a VS pump or something like that. You don't want to be that guy. You're just hoping somebody else speaks up. So I think the biggest thing, and that's what we did in the beginning, was we just spoke up. We're like, hey, we don't really do any repairs right now. And it was, I think, a little bit more.
You guys were awesome, but like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Can you help me? And it was the money. I was like, yeah. He's like, we're excited. We want to grow. We want to do things. I was like, yes.
But I think it was even more difficult for us because we already had, at that point in time, that was still some time ago, but we still had a pretty good reputation online.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was just even more weird for us because we're like, man, people probably think that we should know all this stuff. It's not like we're saying that we do, but we didn't care. Just like, no, we don't know this. We need to know. So let's find somebody that's going to help us.
Sure.
Because we searched high and low online and everything. We have to go to these classes, do this and that. And we even talked about it. We're like, dude, there's got to be somebody that can come out in the field and help us out with something or something. Yeah. And that's exactly what had happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I think one of the things where you're scared to ask a question, and that's because when you go on online platforms and, if you see on Facebook or in different groups, if somebody asks a question or even on Instagram posts,
get your ass lit up.
Dude, if you ask the simplest question, then they're like, oh, noob. And it's like, dude, like, how are you supposed to learn? You can't.
But everything. Like you use like some dude wasn't even finished with a plumbing job, and there was like a little bit of like glue or something like that. Dude, there was like 30 people lighting this dude up.
Yeah, he's like, calm down. I haven't even finished it yet. It's not painted. Dude, they light him up, and that sucks, dude. And that's what sucks about when you're first starting. And that's why everybody's scared in those big conferences to ask questions because, dude, everybody will light you up. And that's what, when we went to the Pentair thing and we were talking, I think it's important for them and other manufacturers to teach things in like stages, and as a beginner, an intermediate, and like an advanced, because you're throwing all these people into one room and their skill sets are so far off. You're like, man, you got one guy that's never even plumbed in a pump, and you got one guy that's plumbed in 2000 in the same room.
Right.
Do you just have to accept that it's like old school hazing and that you're just going to have to take it until you make it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I kind of feel that way. Like, you know what? You just have to grin and bear it. And it's like one day I'm going to be on your level and then I get to do the same or not.
Right.
It's almost like if you can take it, you know what I mean, and learn something from it, because you really can. If somebody gives you a hard time because you called it by the actual part name, but you didn't, call it by its, street name or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's pretty cool after that where you're like, well, I had to learn the hard way because I look like a freaking idiot. But now I call it by its street name, and the next person that walks in the door, they're like, oh, can I get this? And you're like, oh, noob. It's a tampon or whatever the hell they call it.
The flip and float tampon.
You got to start somewhere, man. You got to start somewhere. One thing I've noticed working in distribution when I used to work at the counter when I first started, because I didn't get jumping right in my position because I didn't have one available, but I was glad I went to the counter. But I will say this: a lot of the pool guys do like to eavesdrop on what's going on when you have a problem and you're talking to a representative from our company and getting help and getting your order filled. And if you have a question or something like, how do I do this? Usually people will walk over and say, oh, you do it like this, you do it like that. But in an open format setting, in a class setting, God forbid if you ask a question that's silly, and people will look at you like, even the instructor, no offense against any instructor, they'll give you kind of a weird look too.
For sure.
But you got to start somewhere, man. I mean, that's why I deal with people at all type of experience levels, from people that have just been in the business for 6 months to people that have been in business for 25 years. And I like, getting to know some of those vintage pedigrees that have been in the business for a long, long time. I like to get some of their insights on how to, just how to find a suction leak. What's their way? Well, this is my way. Oh, cool. I didn't think about that. Everybody's got a certain way. But
speaking of that, I learned the craziest thing from a homeowner, man. And you probably already know the trick because you're good at that stuff. But I went to this one thing, and it was this dude had the front of the suction side saran wrapped.
Yeah.
Dude, and I never even thought about to use saran wrap, and that dude had that thing priming like perfect.
Yeah.
And all it was put saran wrap. He found the suction leak by putting saran wrap, and it sucked the saran wrap in there.
Absolutely.
That's pretty crazy. I never even heard of that.
Yep. That's did he use clear, pink, or yellow?
It was clear.
So now our warehouse is fully stocked with
saran wrap everywhere. No. But it was a homeowner, man, too.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that because they usually have no idea what they're doing. And he had that thing primed. He's like, oh, yeah, the leak's right here. And sure thing. You take that saran wrap off, and it didn't prime.
Nope.
Don't give him too much credit. That's probably all I had in the kitchen.
You don't need to fix a suction leak, just saran wrap it.
Could have been foil. Yeah, it could have been foil if there was nothing else.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Could have been a pillowcase, anything to keep the air out. No pillowcase wouldn't work.
Yeah, but even at the counter, man, I mean, those guys sometimes they'll just like laugh, like, I don't know. It's the industry is crazy. You'll hear somebody ask a simple question like, "Oh, what's this?" And you got like, some simple little product like a 90 or something, and they're like, "Oh, you don't even know what's called a 90."
I know. No, you know what though? Like, and the way I've had to learn to think differently because I used to kind of be a little bit like you're in pool business and you don't know what this is, but I started to think about it and I was like, you know what? In all fairness, there's no pool school. In the auto mechanic industry and in the air conditioner, they have these literally live like schools. I don't know, trade schools that you go to that you can sign up. You got to pay money, sign up. You got tuition, all this stuff, and you go through testing and processes and all these procedures, and they get you dialed in. They don't have that in our industry, unfortunately, at this time. And until they do, I'm patient with everybody because no question is a stupid question to me. If I can show you how to glue a 90, then I'll show you. I can show you how to thread in an aerator. I'll show you. It's not a big deal to me, but I used to think a little bit different until I actually start thinking, well, how are they supposed to learn if they don't ask a question? How are they going to learn? By trial and error and messing something up and then giving the industry a little bit of a bad name? Like, I'm not hiring these pool guys.
That's the only
I'm
way.
just gonna do it myself because nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's the only way, man, because you just go out there and try to learn yourselves. I mean, the first full plumbing job I did by myself. I mean, it's still going strong, which is cool. But, I didn't know, and it probably looks like crap. It's like plumbed weird and different angles. But, I mean, other than that, you don't learn. I mean, nobody's going to teach you.
Is that the one we drained as well?
Yeah.
I remember being so scared draining that pool. We had never drained a pool before. I'm like, dude, should we stay here until it's empty? I don't feel right just leaving this pump draining this pool.
Stay the night.
I had a little tent and a campfire, cooking some hot dogs,
just watching it to make sure it's.
And then when you're like, you're filling it back up, and you're like, oh man, it's gonna be like 2 hours. This thing's gonna be filled.
3 days later, no water pressure.
You're like so scared. All right, you guys gotta make sure when you go to bed, turn it off and then turn it back on. Like, no, dude, it takes way longer than that.
What would you say are some of the biggest concerns you hear from the people that you deal with on a regular basis that use Superior and SCP? Is there something that you just hear almost every day?
There's a lot of little things. Some people's complain certain branches. I wish they were a little bit faster. You know what I mean? To get in and get out, and that's why we've developed our will calls and our priority will calls to get the stuff pulled ahead of time before you come. I just think that we don't really have a whole lot of complaints. Sometimes it's just not having what they need at that particular branch. And so it has to be transferred in.
Or the inventory says that you guys have something at a store and you get there and it's not.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen as much as it is as before back, 8-9 years ago.
Except for with waterway valves.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it doesn't still happen, but we've got really good processes and procedures now in place with inventory and how to track it, and there's cycle counting like every day, different things. So it's really, really, it's pretty accurate.
But that's such a difficult thing to do to, keep track of that inventory 100%. I don't think any inventory can be 100%. I mean, maybe it can be, but when you're dealing with millions of parts, it's just so difficult. Awesome. I know on our last episode, we were talking about how important it is to have a mentor, because if you have a mentor, it's just really nice to have that person in your life that can help guide you and teach you different things. Did you have a mentor or just kind of like an influencer in your, pool career that really helped you out?
I honestly, I'd probably say the mentor that I had was the old retail company that I worked for. And the only reason why is I feel that when I look back on some of the way my business character is now, is that they really had a good training process to show you, like I said before, how to sell, how to talk, how to walk, how to be professional, and how to just present yourself very well. And they kind of showed you, and they kind of taught you how to talk, I guess, and just explain things. And it was, to me, when I go back and I think about, like, where did some of this stuff that I do now come from? It's from them. It really is. And one individual that I used to work with when we used to work together, named Pete Soto, and he actually works for SCP in Superior. Funny, because he used to work at the retail store that I used to work for, but the chain. And he was a good mentor. He was a good guy, and he walked me through real slowly how to be professional and courteous and kind and use proper body language and how to answer the phone properly when I was working in the retail store, and just the whole professionalism aspect of him. He really, really enlightened me. He got me to think that, you don't talk that way in business. You don't act that way in business. You don't stand that way in business. You don't dress that way in business. In business, you do it like this. And if you can do it like this, I guarantee you that you will be successful. And he was right. I mean, he really was. He showed me a lot of things, and I'm very grateful for Pete, because he's a great individual still to this day. And I bump into him about once every month and a half or so, and we always reflect on some funny story back in the store that we used to work in. So
I think that's so cool that you talk about that, because there's only, even if you're really good at what you do, I think that only goes so far if you don't have good communication skills, and you're talking about body language and how to talk to customers and kind of just put yourself in their shoes. Mm-hmm. I think that is something that a lot of people, we hear a lot of people, they have a lot of problems and they can't figure out why people are treating them a certain way. And it's like, man, I can already tell by the way you're acting. If you talk to your customers the way you're talking to me,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I can understand why people don't want to deal with you. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might be the greatest repair person or builder or whatever, but if this is your approach, you know what I mean? That you're just going to, be a know-it-all. Like, people don't want to see that. They want to see that you're caring and you're sincere.
Absolutely.
And you genuinely care about what you do and what you're going to do for them, So I think that's really cool that you learned all that. So even now, or even shortly after you left, were you able to kind of, talk with the owner or people your friend that you were just talking about?
Yeah.
Were you able to kind of just like pick their brain on things while you were in the field and things like that?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's super cool. You gotta have that.
So, I mean, SCP is pretty large organization. Can you kind of just talk maybe a little bit about their beginnings and where you guys are? And, I know there's a lot of stores around the country.
Yeah, approximately right now there's 350 locations around worldwide. The company started in 1981, and it was founded South Central Pools out of Louisiana by at the president at that time was Frank St. Romain, and he basically started South Central Pools. And then after a period of time, and I think it was about 2000, as SCP got big, there was a competitor at that time, which was Superior Pool Products. And when they kind of went public, they ended up taking over or purchasing Superior Pool Products. And that, like I said, that was in 2000. 2000 is when they got Superior Pool Products, and then they went public in 1995. So. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the start of it, really. We have branches in Puerto Rico, we have branches in Hawaii, we have branches in Europe, we have branches in Australia, we have branches in Mexico, obviously the United States, and at this time, knock on wood, I hope this never changes, but we are the world's largest swimming pool wholesale distribution company. Wow. Yeah. So,
that's really cool.
I think that we've got there with just a lot of investment and care to the brand and trying to do the best that we can for the customers. So
you may not know, but I mean, so he started the company as like a store. It was like a storefront types thing, or was it started as distribution to pool guys?
Always distribution to pool guys. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we never went into a retail.
Nice.
When Frank started in 1981, it was always a wholesale
Okay.
type of thing. So never went to retail.
Nice. Well, that's good.
So with that being said, I mean, is there any kind of fears or anything like that towards, online sales and things like that? I know that has kind of been a big topic lately, kind of trying to compete with Amazon and different things like that.
Yeah, and I run into this a lot with a lot of people. They'll look something up on Amazon and they'll look at our price and it's not much different. Maybe it's just, and Amazon's just like $5 or $10 more, and it's, what's going on? How could this be? You're wholesale, they're retail. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. It's a crazy type of way that what's happening today in that area with the internet being so, cheap and available at any given moment. And, it's one of those things where, it's not going away, and it's always going to be there with our product, in the air conditioning industry and the electrical industry. A lot of industries it's starting to hit now. So if you don't kind of figure out a way how to stick up for your products and your services against the homeowner that is holding their phone saying that I can get it on whatever website for cheaper, then you're gonna probably lose that sale, and you're gonna fail, and you're not gonna make the most out of your company that you can. I think that you need to have a rebuttal and something against that situation, be able to tell the homeowner, I offer a service that the internet doesn't provide. I pick up, I size, I deliver, and I install. And unfortunately, until the internet can do that, unfortunately, I can't match it at this time, ma'am. What time would you like Wednesday for me to come install that pump? Just roll kind of right into it. Because if you fiddle with it and you fumble your words and you don't make eye contact, you don't stand up straight, you're going to lose that confidence from the customer. I did a little bit of research on this topic about why consumers shop on the internet, besides all the ease and the availability in 24 hours and stuff like that. It was mainly basically, was it price? It really wasn't price, because the article said that a lot of people don't necessarily buy off price. They buy off availability, and they buy because it's readily available. Now,
Like that they can see it, and it's so easy to see the picture of it. They can see the price. They can compare things. They can see feedback on products.
Right.
I think there's so many things that it can do that we can't necessarily do unless, we show up right when the thought comes to mind.
Right.
It's in our hand and we're like, this is what you get. You know what I mean? I'm going to charge you double, but this is what it is. And I'm a professional and I'm going to go put this in. You know what I mean? It's not that easy.
Yeah. It's a crazy world, and you just have to be able to stick up for your products and services. And if you can't and you roll over, then they're going to give the sale to the internet. And you just stick up for yourself. I mean, and figure out what you want to say. I mean, what I just said about, just a second ago, you can use that. You could use something else. But, I mean, I tell a lot of pool guys, hey, look, man, tell the customer, hey, look, you can buy a lot of things online. You can buy a toaster oven, you can buy a refrigerator, you can buy a flat screen TV. But when it comes to your pool equipment, consider buying it from a local company, because you're going to have questions and you're going to have concerns at some point or another. And you're going to need somebody to answer that for you. And, you're not going to really have a whole lot of questions on, your microwave, are you? And how that works. You're not going to have all questions about, your hairdryer or something like that.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to pool equipment, something that you're not an expert at, the homeowner, then, buy it from a local company so they can help you out. So,
yeah, I think that's a really good one.
I think a lot of the companies are coming out, or a lot of the manufacturers are coming out with, trade only products, which I think helps.
Yeah.
But we met a lot of cool people at the symposium, a lot of younger business owners, and we had some conversations there. And, ultimately these companies still want to make money, so they're not going to completely take that away from the consumer online, because they still want those sales. But with these trade only products, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but if they're going to make these trade only products, I mean, they shouldn't even give any type of warranty. They're giving the 60-day warranty, or they're honoring the 2-year warranty if somebody installs it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I think personally they should not give any type of warranty. But that's a whole game. And ultimately they can tell us what they want, but they want the money from the product regardless of where it comes from.
Right.
Which we get. But I mean, that's if they're making these trade series only products, I mean, that should be it, and they should not honor warranties.
Right. No, I agree. If it's trade service only, there shouldn't be, or should be even 5 days or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're putting these 60-day stamps on the products, but they can still buy it online and have us install it, and it still gets the warranty. Which,
right.
Who knows what they're going to buy online, if they're buying the right size, if they have the right plumbing. I mean, that's a pain in the butt. We personally don't really do much of that. So
yeah. I think if you shut it down in the beginning with the homeowner and you just tell them, hey, look, this is my transaction, not yours, and I'm going to dictate how it goes and where it ends up, because if you lose your, I guess, let me back up, because you have to be able to sell and present yourself. But I always thought about this, like selling, when you sell something at its highest level, it's a transfer of emotion.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a transfer of emotion, of certainty when you sell something to somebody. And if you can be confident about that and be able to display it to the customer, chances are you're probably going to win that confidence, and you know what I mean. And they're gonna purchase it from you, because if you can't get that confidence, you're going to fall flat on your face. And I think a lot of homeowners, a lot of times, why they're shopping you and why they're looking for another outlet to purchase the product is they may not just be quite confident that you're the right person to buy that product from.
Sure.
But if you can spell it out for them, and you can spell it out for them, A, B, C, D, and then it's done, then the article, like I was saying, I was stumbling there a little bit before, but the article is saying is if you can promote that confidence and get that little bit of a doubt out of their mind, then chances are you're probably going to take control of that transaction and get the sale. And I think that a lot of people don't have enough confidence in what they're selling and what they're doing and their services. It's not that they're not confident; it's just that they don't know how to display it to the homeowner. Sure. And how to transfer that emotion of certainty. Look, use my services and use my product, and here's 5 reasons why. What time do you want that installed on Thursday? And so
close it.
Yeah, close it, baby, because if you fumble, you're going to give them a chance. And
sure.
So,
and I think that's easier to do in person. That's why we do a lot of our bids in person. But I mean, sometimes you get calls from the phone that say, hey, I just bought this online. Can you install it? I mean, those type of situations. And it's like, man, no.
Well, and that's
which they honor the warranty for 2 years, which, that sucks to me. I really don't like that.
And I don't necessarily agree with it either. I think that hopefully one day that will be like the auto industry, because you can't do that. A local auto repair company here is Sun Devil Auto. You can't walk in and buy a starter for a 94 Civic and walk into Sun Devil Auto, drop it on the counter and say, hey, can you put this in? How much?
Right.
They'll laugh at you. Like, no, it's not going to happen. We don't put, and the reason why I know this is because I've done that before. And
nice,
because but I wanted to get it.
Awesome.
It was this car I was trying to hawk, and it was my son's car, and I was trying to sell it super cheap. So I was trying to not spend a lot of money, but they basically they presented themselves very well, and they told me that, look, unfortunately we can't install any parts that run out of the outside channels of our company, and we have a strict policy that we have to abide by, and we can't do that. We buy from a distributor that has our back, and that if there is something ever wrong with that starter for that 94 Civic, we'll take care of it for you, and we'll warranty it accordingly.
Right. And
I think that when they kind of explained that to me, I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. All right, I guess, let's go. I'll just take the starter back where I got it from. And it's just, been able to have that policy and procedure, and hopefully one day that the pool industry will get a little bit closer and a little bit more united like that, like the automotive industry, because you can't bring parts from the internet into your local auto shop and tell them to put it in. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not ones that will do it, but the bigger chains out here in Phoenix, Arizona, they'll tell you to take a hike in a nice way.
Yeah, I mean, you still got Johnny One trucks that might do that, but, the professional companies, the legit companies, if they all decided to not do that, and the manufacturers helped where they didn't provide those type of warranties, or didn't honor the warranties, it would definitely raise that bar.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe one day we'll get like that.
hopefully for sure.
I do. I hope it happens.
One of the other jobs I think you took us to, was our first automation install, and that was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
With Jason. For
Yeah.
Pantera.
Yeah, with Jason for Pantera. Yeah.
Yes, I mean that was sweet of you guys, man. It was cool. You and Jason basically spent like 6 to 8 hours out in the field with us, and it wasn't quite summer yet, but
Yeah.
it was still toasty out there.
Yeah.
But you helped us yank the old board down, put the new board on, wire everything, from start to finish, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That we could learn. The reason I bring automation up because we kind of want to hear your thoughts maybe on where you see the industry going. What the future looks like to you for the industry, and I know that's a big part of it for us. But what do you think?
Completely automated everything as much as possible. I mean, the automation systems that are coming out from Hayward, Pentair, and Jandy, they used to be big flagship automation panels, expensive. Not a lot of people could afford them or wanted to afford them. And now they're making it so affordable and so easy at an entry level, way that it's almost hard.
It's like, why not?
Not to say no. Yeah, exactly. And I think pretty soon, I mean, nothing against, a traditional time clock, but, hopefully one day that everybody will be able to turn their pool on with their phone or some type of tablet or something like that, and control stuff from that. I think that'd be great.
Have you seen a huge spike in automation sales?
Absolutely.
Through SCP?
Absolutely. And the reason why I think is the manufacturers are, like I said, making these. They're not making such these big flagship panels anymore. They're making some simpler stuff that's more affordable, and
It's also easier for technicians to learn it.
It's easier for the technicians to learn it. It's easier. Sometimes it's easier to a little bit to program.
It's not so intimidating, this big, huge board with 400 wires running through it.
A spaghetti dinner. That's what I like. Yep, and it is. So I think that and other manufacturers are jumping in too, as well as getting into the simplicity. Waterway makes a panel now that's really simple and easy to put into, and you're going to see.
Can you get their products in Arizona?
Yes, you can't get their products in Arizona.
I'm just kidding. We had some issues trying to get some Waterway products recently.
Yeah. Waterway, see, everything is all demographic. Out here in Phoenix, the greater Phoenix area, in Tucson, it's a Pentair, Hayward, Jandy. And Waterway's bigger in some different demographic areas of the United States, and it's all to each its own. Whoever it is, and if we don't have a whole lot of a certain brand of manufacturer that is very popular, then we bring it in slowly but surely till the till the manufacturer makes that demand for us to where we have to bring in more. So. Yeah.
That's cool. So you see the industry just going more towards just being fully automated?
I just be fully automated. I also think that there's going to be a way with single speed pumps. Mm-hmm. I think that here pretty soon that you're going to see more 2-speed and variable speed, Well,
there's a law passed, right, by like 2022 or something.
There is, but they're still manufacturing single horsepower,
right.
For your waterfall.
Right.
But I think it's like by
20,
isn't it 2022 or something? They're supposed to mostly be not even able to make those or something.
From the rumors that I've heard that pretty soon here that they're not even going to be able to make single speed pumps anymore.
Yeah.
Pumps or motors only. And it's going to be all some type of dual or variable motor.
Right.
It'll be out there, yeah.
So what advice would you give for a new just pool service and repair company that's just kind of getting started off? Is there, some special things that, that they should be focused on? Because I know you don't want to jump just right into automation, even if it is the future. You know what I mean? Because I think you have to learn how a pool works. You have to kind of see the origins of a swimming pool and then work your way into that.
For a company that's just getting started in their infancy, I call you guys for marketing strategies. I'd say that call Brothers. Get the advice from Greg, and he'll help you out and get the phone ringing. I would say take a little bit of time, take it slow, and to go to the classes that are offered from the manufacturers. Go to the classes that are offered from the National Plaster Council. Go to the classes that we sometimes offer, and participate in that. I know several guys that right now are huge companies in this valley, and I'm talking in the past 7 years that I've seen these guys get big. And I can kid you not, I go to all the classes just to mingle with the people that I know and also to pick up on something I may not know. And every time I used to go to I don't go as many as now because, I'm pretty busy, but when I used to go and I had a little bit more time, I had seen these guys there at every single class. I mean, it didn't matter what the class was. They were there, and they were sitting in the front, and they were taking notes, and they were getting that information, and they were raising their hand, and they were asking questions, and they were just really applying themselves to the industry and learning it. And, you know, I mean, you may not have somebody like me to help you out all the time, but if you go out and seek it out yourself and put in the time and the energy, you will get a lot of questions answered. And, you know, YouTube is a good another outlet that you could use for small things too as well, you know, and but apply yourself to the trade and say, this is my job now, and this is what I do, and I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn it the best I can, and I'm going to stay up if I have to and study, and I'm going to look at things, and I'm going to understand it. I'm going to not be scared to ask questions, because don't feel intimidated by somebody or something. They'll forget that question, you know, 2 months or a month down the road. You're going to blend right in, and pretty soon you're going to be the guy to answer those questions, and somebody may come to you.
Oh yeah, that'll be a memory.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Nobody will have ever remembered, you know, when you first started off.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That time flies by so fast.
And I think another thing is figure out your why. Like, why do you want to be a pool service guy? Why do you want to do pool repair? You know, what's your why? And money's a result. And I got this from TED Talks, because there was a great TED Talks video by Simon Sinek on
that.
that.
Yeah, you sent me that one.
Yeah,
That's
about
super
your
cool.
why. Yeah, and he really just kind of broke it down and stuff like that. But figure out why you're doing it in the first place, and don't, like I said, don't let money be your main reason. You know, money's a result, and figure out why you're doing it. I mean, you know, are you doing it because, you know, you want to help that family? Like I said, what I like to do is I like to bring the families together. You know, if they can have a clean, healthy environment to swim in and spend time in and enjoy themselves in, then that's why I would do it, you know, to bring those families together. So figure out what your why. I mean, it may not be what I think, but it could be something else. And once you get that vision, you know, set, then push yourself, you know, to display it and show it and market it. And then, you know, I could also say that when you're getting into this as new is learn a little bit of salesmanship if you could. I don't think enough companies spend enough time learning how to sell and learning how to close and learning how to give the customer new items to consider that they could use for their, not just their whole pool, it's their pool itself, but their whole entire backyard. You know, whether you want to start selling patio furniture or barbecue grills, which we sell, by the way, you know, or saunas, which we sell, by the way. But, you know, anything like that you can think that you might be able to push, go out and learn it and watch some sales videos. There's some great sales videos on YouTube that you can find, just introductory to basic sales and how to close and how to present product and do that. Because if you can do that, and you're really good at that, Greg, I add, you're really good presenting product, and your voice tone is very calm and it's very easy to understand.
Oh, shucks.
No.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
man.
shucks. But no, you're not animated or anything like that. I get a little animated because I get all hyper because I love talking about stuff. But you have a real mellow tone. Figure out your tone, figure out your selling technique, and know the customer that you're dealing with, and know how that certain individual needs to be sold to. And, you know, you have to sell to different types of people differently. And, you know, learn the I guess it's 5, you know, customer characteristics, and figure that out and learn that stuff. I mean, sales is a big thing. I think it gets overlooked in our industry a lot. I mean, because I've went out to job sites where I've closed whole complete filter systems for pool guys, and they're like, "Oh my God, how'd you do that?" And I said, "I just start talking to the homeowner for you. You know, we looked at their equipment. You said it was crap. I said it was crap. They even said it was crap.
Yeah.
You know, and I just went and talked to them, and how about this and how about that? And I sold it on your behalf, and they're like, "Man, that was awesome." And I said, "All I did was, man, I just talked to them. I made a few bullet points. I know the warranties. I know the savings on the variable speeds and how much it'll save the consumer." And, you know, and you just express to them and tell them that information, because they're not going to hear it from anywhere else. If they don't hear it from you, where are they going to hear it from?
Exactly.
And one last thing I'll say is promote your services that you do. If you just do cleaning and you don't do repair, or you do repair cleaning and you don't do whatever the case may be, tell the consumer that all your customers that you have, that tell them all the products and services that you offer, because I kid you not, this happens probably about 2 or 3 times a year. I'll go out with a newer customer, and you know, they're getting to install pumps, and they do it. It's not like they don't do it. They haven't done a bunch of them, but they do it. and it could be a year and a half or so they're in business, and they'll walk into a backyard, and I'll come back there with them, and we'll walk by the pool equipment, and there'll be a brand new pump installed, and they didn't install it, and they're like,
Yep, been there.
yeah.
Except it was heaters.
Yeah. And so, and they would say to me, man, I can't believe how did they didn't, how come they didn't call me, and they should have called me. I could have put that in, and blah, blah, blah. And I always tell them, well, did they know you install pumps? Did you ever call them up or send them an email or express it in maybe something in your billing or your advertising to them that you did do that? Well, no, I just assumed. And yeah, you assumed, and that'll kill you faster than a bullet.
Oh man, you can't assume anything in this industry.
No, man, you can't.
Or in any industry.
And I think the thought we had when a customer had a heater installed and it wasn't any kind of warranty weird issue, it wasn't anything like that. It was just, I think we made the assumption that, our customers saw that we were growing and we were doing more things like, oh, we told you we weren't doing major repairs, a year and a half ago, but we're a whole new company. How the heck would they know that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They don't see any of that.
No.
All they remember is that, the last time I asked you to do a repair or look at my heater, you said that you didn't do that.
Right.
So what do you expect? So I think that's a really good one. And I think if you're switching over to doing more repairs, you should totally send out a mass email or, pick up the phone and, call these customers and make sure that it's transparent, the services that you offer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think a good way to do that too is when the manufacturers run their rebates and stuff, you can send out those emails saying, hey, just so you know, we do variable speed installs and you can save an extra $100, things like that will help.
Just forward it to them.
I don't know about that.
No.
Well, we did that with the JXI when they had the, what was it, like $100 or $200?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool when they had the rebate going on, and I think we pushed out that email just letting everybody know that we were doing that, and that there was a little bit
that
of money
happened
off.
after we walked in and saw that heater we didn't install, so we made sure everybody else knew that we installed them.
Right.
It's too funny.
But yeah, I mean that definitely helps when they run those rebates, to advertise them, and we put in a lot of cleaners, when they start doing the $100 off and stuff. So.
Right. Absolutely.
So is there anything that you do special? I mean, I know you skate, you do a little bit of DJing. Do you read books? Do you listen to audio books? Do you do yoga? Is there something that kind of keeps you sane? Because I feel like everybody has, something that's really special to them that kind of keeps them motivated, because, pools are amazing, but it's still a job at the end of the day. And I feel like you need something to keep you.
Everybody needs a release. Yeah,
exactly.
For sure. I do, I do skateboarding. I play golf. I snowboard. I DJ, like you said. And
how would you do that SCP?
If I was at SCP?
Yeah.
Oh, if I was like calling numbers or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, next up is number 12. Number 12 to counter 3, please. Number 12.
Please bring your ticket.
That is awesome.
You should totally do that.
I've been doing that for a long time. And I make a little bit of music on the side just for myself and for a couple of friends. And I think just the music, for me, and a little bit of the skateboarding and snowboarding is a release. I also do BMX downhill. I have like a BMX mountain bike, and I go downhill like really fast with some guys that I know.
Crazy. And you take like the chairlift up?
No.
And
I haven't
like
took the chairlift up yet, but I'm about ready to. Yeah.
Dude, mountain biking is crazy.
Yeah, so I do that, and I enjoy listening to live music. Just anything to disconnect myself from work.
Yeah.
Is very helpful for the soul. And you have to feed your soul that sometimes. You have to change it up a little bit and get out there and do something different. And
That's cool.
For me, it helps me, every day, every weekend I'm doing something, trying to stay busy, doing something with the kids or something, with friends or something to just try and just to break up the monotony.
Yeah, most definitely. I think all of those things are super cool. Can't believe you do all that. Sounds like a lot of fun.
So what do you, I probably can't be one of your new customers, but what's your craziest customer story? Maybe when you were running your pool service business, or what do you like? Some crazy customer stories.
Customer story.
Think real hard. I want to hear something good.
I was shocked before one time by a guy that I was helping, and he shut off the breaker. I was helping him fix a light. And
you were literally shocked.
I was literally shocked.
I thought you,
That was good.
I thought you meant you were like surprised, but
I was helping, and he had. I said, "Hey, did you make sure the breaker's off?" Because he had standing there back for a while, and I was just we were getting ready to just show him some things, and I think I was with manufacturer at the time, and he just turned it back on, and I didn't know, and I touched the wire, and I zapped myself. I mean, my feelings and my teeth hurt, man. My mouth was smoking.
Mark, I already told you I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. But
it was not us. That was a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
No, I think one of the funniest things that I can remember that, and this wasn't me, but I was part of this situation, that actually a guy that I had worked with, he had told this customer to pour some chemicals in her pool, and he gave her the recipe and everything like that, and he told her, all right, pour this chemical around the pool and then run your filter for 24 hours and blah, blah, blah. And so we had dealt with this customer because I tested her water and he prescribed the stuff. This was when I was working retail. And so she comes back about like 3 days later and she goes, I'm not one to complain, but my pool's it's still green and it didn't change at all. And in fact, I think it got a little bit worse, but all my plants around my pool died.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah. So, and I was like, well, what do you mean all your plants? She's like, yeah, ever since I added that product that you said around the pool, that all the plants that were around my pool died.
She poured the chemicals around the pool, not in the pool.
Yeah, she poured it around the pool.
Oh my gosh.
dude,
You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
Oh, like some magic potion.
Yeah.
So everybody listening to this, you need to be very clear about what you're telling people. You need to pour the chemicals into the swimming pool.
Into the swimming pool and around the swimming pool. Into first and around.
Yeah, I poured it on my dog. And
Yep.
That's
so
awesome.
I'll never forget that story. That was pretty funny. And, we kind of laughed at her a little bit because it was hard to not. And but we got it straightened out. But yeah,
how'd you get that straightened out? Did you bring some new plants over there?
I don't know. I think the company at that time ended up just helping her out, which gave her some store credit or something like that. But she was cool about it. She's like, "Oh, I just didn't understand what you meant."
Was it like an algicide or something?
Yeah, it was an algicide. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, speaking of algicide, I'm sure you've seen some crazy like green pools.
Oh yeah.
What's your craziest green pool you've ever seen?
Well, with their point where they're black, they're no longer green. You know what I mean? Where there's just no oxygen left in the water, just black. They're just black.
Did you find anything crazy at the bottom once you got it?
I've seen them. With any type of animal that you can, the Arizona wildlife. From
You seen javelinas in there?
no javelinas, no coyotes, but also all the rodents.
Yeah.
Your typical mice, your typical little prairie dogs, and some rattlesnakes that were dead. Actually, at the bottom, seen a cat in the bottom of a pool once that was dead. I didn't even know it was a cat; thought it was a rat. And until I took it out of the pool and hosed it off.
Got all the algae off him.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a pretty sight. But yeah, so just rodents and animals and stuff. No humans yet. Knock on wood. That's a good thing. Well, I don't do pool service or repair anymore, but I just help people. But yeah, that no humans. So
What about trying to like flip one? What's your craziest story of flipping a green pool? Do you have any of those?
it was probably no. It's probably when we used to add. God, what was that stuff? It was the pneumonia that we used to add to flip green pools, and we used to sell it at SCP in Superior. And you had to clear the backyard, and the dogs would go in the backyard and they'd start. I mean, and you had to like add it and kind of get out of the backyard pretty quick because the fumes just went all and they consumed the whole backyard. And the reactions from the dogs were pretty funny because they would, we would tell the customers, hey, we're gonna add this chemical and keep your dogs in the house and don't let them out and don't go in the backyard for X amount of hours. And somehow or another, a dog got out, and it was just the reaction was pretty funny. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. We don't sell that chemical anymore.
Did it flip them pretty quick?
Yeah, it did flip them pretty quick. Yeah.
I've never even heard of pneumonia.
Yeah, it's a little old trick that it's a pneumonia algicide. I forget what the exact ingredients of it were. It was like a 2-part, if I can remember right, and you added one right after another, and it just created this chemical reaction. It just literally annihilated any algae in there.
Wow. Did it bubble up like crazy?
Yeah, if I can remember right, it did bubble. A lot of the algae that's dead usually starts rising to the top and starts, the moss, it starts getting all mossy, starts breaking up. Gas chlorine actually works really fast too. I mean, not too many people have the licensing for it out here in Phoenix, but
Right.
You stick those wands in there or whatever they have, and they open up the tank and go for it. And gas chlorine is 100% pure chlorine.
Right.
So that really just takes that algae by storm, man. Just knocks it out. So, but I would say that with the algae.
Have you seen that in person?
Yeah, gas
chlorine
yeah,
where it
do
just
its
light up a
tricks.
green pool.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Does it turn like within minutes,
It
hours?
depends how bad it is and depends what's going on. But and sometimes you can almost see it turn right before your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just starts blowing up.
That's crazy.
So, yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for being on this episode with us today.
You're very welcome.
You've been a really good friend, representative on behalf of Superior and SCP. Me and my brother Tyler, we just always appreciate you, and we love all the, luncheons and different things that we do. So, we look forward to many more years of working together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a really good relationship, man. We are super grateful and appreciative, and just like you said, other companies say that we for sure couldn't do it without you. So
I appreciate that. Thank you
so much. You're a big part of Brothers, a big part of our pool industry lives. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We wanted to have you on here just because you're so important to us in that, and thought you're very knowledgeable. So
thank you.
Why don't you kind of just maybe give SCP a little plug here? What do you guys have to offer for the pool guys? Why should they choose you over your competitors, things like that?
Well, we have a lot of things. I mean, we have a lot of marketing, features that we have for the company that offers. We have a thing called that we've had for a few years now called Splash Cash. So if you buy certain items for us, you actually get credit for marketing from our company. So it's actually dollars that you can spend. We have a website designed. You can use it on that. Or if you wanted to do it something at more of a local level that you had an outlet of advertising, you could use that as well. And we would kind of basically reimburse you, credit your account. It has to get approved and things like that if you go that route. But that's a really cool thing that we've started. I think it's been about 3 or 4 years, and it's called Splash Cash. It's a really good thing. Unfortunately, it's not on everything that you purchase. It's just on certain goods. It's usually like baskets, O-rings, grids, cartridges, et cetera, stuff like that. But we also do, we have our Pool 360 app, which has been a phenomenal success for us, which is, as well, you guys use that. It works really good out in the field or, just in your office. And, we're always trying to make improvements in that and make it better and more user-friendly. So, but that has been working really, really good for us. We have priority pickup will call now at a lot of our branches, so you can kind of plug in the time. If you put your will call on your phone, if you put your will call, you call it into the phone center or your local branch. I don't know if all cities and towns are doing this, but we are here in Phoenix, and you can kind of pick your time that you're going to want to pick up the stuff, and it'll be ready for you.
Yeah, we do that pretty much every morning now.
Yeah.
So.
And then, obviously we have the delivery that we do as well. And, we have, outside sales reps that we do that will help you if you have questions, you want to get into starting remodeling and you need to get a little bit of tile in your office or something to that nature, or you got a showroom that you want to start displaying stuff, we'll come over there and set you up and get you started. Don't forget, we still have Lightstream, which is a great thing that we have. I think that's really phenomenal. You talk about SCP and Superior Pool Products, MPT, always trying to help businesses succeed and just close the sale. The Lightstream financing is really good because it's an outlet where you could go to your customer and said, hey, if you were looking for financing, or if they were to ask you about financing, you do have a way to say, you know what, yes, I do have financing now. You go to this website with swimmingpool.com, you go into the Lightstream link, and the customer fills that out. And the cool thing about the Lightstream is that you are totally disconnected from that transaction with the bank giving the consumer the money. They fill out the application, they put their account number in, and then the bank actually deposits the money in that homeowner's account, and then they can call you up and say, hey, I got the money, and can you remodel my pool or build me a pool or whatever the case may be. So that's been a really good success for us. Just another outlet we try and do to help our customers succeed.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of distributors out there don't take it to the level that we take it and don't care like we do. I'm not saying that they don't care, but I think that we have a lot of things to offer that a lot of the competitors don't. And we truly, honestly, wholeheartedly, I believe, care whether your business succeeds or fails. And if you need insight, you need training, you need some marketing advice, you need this, we have people to do that. We also have people to help you set up a retail store if you're looking for a retail store. So we have a lot of different avenues to help you succeed. And I don't know any other distributor that has as many avenues that we do to help you succeed. So, I mean, if you're into something and you got questions, you got concerns, check with your local manager, tell them what you're in need of and you're wanting, and they'll connect you with the right people. And even if it's not something that they have on a local level, we have a lot of people at a corporate level that can help out. We have commercial specialists, retail specialists, chemical specialists, and that could all help your business out if you're looking to get some more knowledge or gain some insight in a certain avenue. So,
nice.
Yeah.
So if they're already not a customer of yours, how would they sign up to go, shop with SCP?
If they're not a customer of ours right now, they can just go into a local branch and just ask for an application. And in Phoenix, you have we need your driver's license basically just to make sure it's legit, and then business card, whatever. You don't have to give your tax ID form if you're not in Arizona. Anyway, I can kind of only speak for this, but you don't have to give that if you don't want taxes taken out, or if you don't need one, you don't have to have one.
Nice.
So, and then at that time, when you do sign up an account, you get your Pool 360 login information, and then you can look up all your prices and invoices and product history. I mean, the Pool 360 is a very awesome, especially when you go on the actual website, because you can look up usage reports and you can do all kinds of different things to help your business, and you can set up templates and just put stuff on will call from your phone. I mean, the list goes on and on with it.
Yeah, it's a really cool tool, man. I mean, it helped us develop our pricing matrix too, because you can look how much your cost is right away.
Absolutely.
And figure out what you want to charge and things like that. So it's a really cool tool that you guys offer.
It is, and it's only getting better. I mean, they're doing a lot of different things on it.
Yeah, I've definitely seen improvement over the last couple of years we've been using it, for sure. So.
Yep, absolutely. Really, really good stuff. And there's I'm trying to think whatever. We do have a lot of locations, so that always helps.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot more, 350 approximately across the world. And
you can share both, right? So if you have an SCP account, you can go to Superior, or do you need separate accounts?
Absolutely. Once you're in with SCP, always make sure that you when you circle, I think it has a little thing where you can circle if you want SCP, SPP, or MPT. Just circle all three. And your SCP account will work for an MPT. If you just have a Superior account, though, and you don't have an MPT account, you can still get stuff. We like to have both accounts.
Sure.
For that reason, but it's phenomenal. Don't forget about, a lot of people forget about the MPTs. There's a lot of stuff that we sell at MPTs that are not at the local branches of SPP and SCP. So always go in there, pop in there, look around, and the one that we have here in Tempe. And we have all kinds of stuff in there. There's actually patio furniture in there. There's barbecue grills displayed in there. I think they're getting saunas in there. So they got a lot of different avenues of way that you can make money. And that's what we try and do. We try and basically, we put all this stuff out there. We try and do the homework and see what we'll sell on the market. And then, we'll sell it, and to you guys, and offer to you guys that hopefully you can sell it. I mean, we sell above ground spas, I guess you guys know that. And we sell tough spas, which is Quad Leisure Products, actually makes our sea breeze spas for us. So we don't actually manufacture spas. We have manufacturers,
sure.
but I mean, it's we just always look for something that to give our customers new items to consider for their business.
Nice.
So, and we believe that it's not just a pool; it's a backyard. So there's a lot of stuff that goes in the backyard besides a pool that you can sell your customers. So that's what we try and strive for, that outdoor living.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I mean, like I said, we enjoy working with you guys, and you've been a big support for us. So, thanks so much for being on the podcast with us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
It's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, please take what you can from the episode and apply that to your business. We know that not everything we do will work for you guys, and vice versa. Not everything you do will work for us, but we hope there's some great insight here for you guys to apply that to your business. And if you have any questions, please email poolchasers.info@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Our tag is Pool Chasers. Your feedback is very important to us, so please leave us a rating and review on iTunes. It'd be much appreciated to see how you all like the podcast. Thank you very much.
See you out there, pool chasers.